pandemic is ruining everything.
All right, match. All right, good job. It was extremely frustrating. Starting therapy at home was the most frustrating thing. I cried every single night for the first 2 months.
I think if you talk to almost any special needs parent, they will say that we have to advocate twice as hard as any regular parent just for things that regular kids get.
Autism goes all the way from maybe Michelangelo. Einstein had no speech until age 3. Thomas Edison, a bunch of different people.
It feels like I'm naturally alive, like I'm naturally breathing, and it's nothing.
There is no shame in this condition.
Autism is a developmental disorder characterized by significant social and behavioral challenges. In fact, according to the CDC, 1 in 54 children have it. Over the next 30 minutes, we encourage you to listen, learn, and love. This year has been hard on all of us, and for people with autism spectrum disorder, their families, and their caregivers, it's been particularly challenging.
It's been a long, tough road for Stephanie GUZMAN-DIAZ. She learned her son Luis has autism right before the pandemic, a condition she knew very little about.
I started reading books about autism. I started educating myself about it, and I came to understand that it's not the end of the world.
But what felt like the end of the world was being in charge of his therapy protocol.
Where's dog? All right, match. All right, good job. It was extremely frustrating. Starting therapy at home was the most frustrating thing. I cried every single night for the first 2 months.
So Stephanie, who is not a teacher by profession, had to prepare her own lesson plan day after day.
It was basically I had to get, his toys in place, his books in place. Okay, where's Pig?
Developmental therapist Amina Mosley, who works with children on the spectrum, says she coaches parents on how to manage.
So just look at the days of the week. It's something called embedded coaching and natural environment training, right? And so those two things are a part of ABA therapy anyway, right? Applied behavioral analysis therapy. It's a part of the therapy to include the parent, and in the moment when the child is having a meltdown, or in the moment when the child is requesting something, we're learning how to properly communicate.
Hey! It was a bonding experience for me and my son, a big bonding experience.
And you clap. With autistic parents, I think I read somewhere that it's like the stress level is the equivalent of a soldier who's been in combat, the PTSD level. So that's without COVID.
5-year-old Caleb Alabaster, who is nonverbal, has been as much of a champ as he possibly can be throughout the pandemic. He's back in school now, but he lost some of the gains he made before lockdown, especially since his father Lawrence says he didn't receive the necessary equipment that he needed.
I think if you talk to almost any special needs parent, they will say that we have to advocate twice as hard as any regular parent just for things that regular kids get. My son was approved for an iPad in February last year. He only got one in June after I emailed the mayor's office 2 or 3 times.
Lawrence says that the DOE and the city and state government should prioritize special needs children, but instead he feels like these kids are just an afterthought.
For me, I took it as this is a challenge and we're going to move forward, and that's what we've done every step of the way. And my wife, I have to say, my wife and I are a team, and whenever we feel like the world is against us, we're always like, we always fist bump and say, Team Alabaster, and we're on the same page together because you have no choice.
And I love how excited you got. I mean,
yeah, because I just remember
into this.
I see them all the time.
At the REUTER household, today is not such a bad day because Joshua is intrigued by being on camera. But this 21-year-old who has been dealing with the challenges of autism his entire life says he hit rock bottom when the pandemic started.
The pandemic is ruining everything. I was really looking forward to last year and this year because I'm tired of being in the house. It's boring. I'm tired of doing the same things. I want to be at work. I wanted to do things, still trying to get into college because I'm still working on that. I wanted to do things, go out with my friends.
NYDIA REUTER says helping Joshua cope during the pandemic has been tough for the entire family.
My youngest son, I have to understand him too. He don't understand. You know, he told me the other day, he says, Mommy, he's my older brother. He's supposed to take care of me. Now I'm looking after him. So it's hard for me to make him understand that, you know, we have to help him. It's going to be a long process. With autism, the kids have a routine. You don't have no problem.
We're hopefully not always going to be in a pandemic.
Dr. Cynthia Martin of the Child Mind Institute, where they're studying the effects of the pandemic on children with autism, says for some kids, lockdown has been a roadblock.
Some young adults and adolescents who were making so many gains. They had found a friend group and in a niche, and they were really just thriving.
To be fair, there are also a number of children on the spectrum who have been thriving during the pandemic because they prefer not to be as social.
It's like a relief. It is just like the weight has been lifted off of their shoulders, because in non-pandemic times, they felt very judged for wanting to be online and socializing online more than socializing in more of a real world setting.
The best thing that we need to do is not to point them out. We need to help them, and we need not to put them a label. We need to integrate them and make them feel like they're the same.
What does it say about ourselves as a society if we can pay for a new bike lane on the Brooklyn Bridge, but we can't fund or assist special needs parents in their hour of need?
Coming up, a mom and a movement.
Programs are there to help children with special needs, especially as they become adults. But families need to know what to ask for.
How she's pushing back against disparities in diagnosis and helping other families get the services they need. And later, one-on-one with Temple Grandin.
Shop, welding, auto mechanics. If you have these things in the schools, then these kids get to experience more things that they could turn into a career.
Whether you know little or a lot about autism, you've probably heard her name. Our exclusive interview when this Fox 5 special, Autism Life on the Spectrum, returns. A diagnosis of autism, early intervention, and continued services throughout life. These are some of the keys to assisting people with autism. As Dan Bowens explains, though, not everyone has easy access to this help.
Oftentimes, people say, oh, you have a son with autism. And for me, my life, I'm living my life within autism. It permeates every decision that we make as a family.
For Mariela Adams and her family, it is a journey they've taken together. Her son Luis is nonverbal and severely autistic.
It was an audiologist that was doing a hearing test on him when he was about 15 months old, who finally looked at me and I said, I think there's something else going on. And she said, you should call early intervention. And you get this incredibly harsh diagnosis. I mean, for him, it was, you need to get used to the fact that he may never speak a word. He may never say anything.
Diagnosing the condition early was critical for finding available resources, but Mariela knows it's not always a guarantee.
It's so important to make those services available to communities of colors, communities that are underserved. They don't always get to listen to that message. It's not easy to find. There's no easy way to find it on the web. They have to know what they're looking for.
According to the CDC, 1 out of every 54 children in the U.S. has been identified with autism spectrum disorder. But the study also found Black and Hispanic kids are diagnosed less often than white children. Pamela Dixon is Inclusion Director for Clinical Services at advocacy group Autism Speaks.
If we think about getting access to, say, for example, diagnostic evaluation, those services are usually provided by specialists that may not be available in communities.
When it comes to autism, finding the right words can be tough.
I love you.
Love you too. Parenting a child with a disability takes more than just good effort and good, kind, hard effort. It takes real skill.
Mariella now works with the Westchester Institute for Human Development, trying to help other families in similar circumstances. She says leveling the equity balance also means moving past certain stigmas within the Black and brown communities.
Being good in school is a value that the Hispanic community holds really high. And so the idea that you have a child that's going to receive special education services, it's a little unnerving for people in the community. And they're afraid, is this going to be forever? Does this mean that he's not going to graduate with a high school degree?
Now 17 years old, Luis lives at a boarding high school, receiving specialized care through the public school system. And though keeping his mask on is as challenging as it is for the rest of us, he's learning to live his best life, finding his path on this family's long journey.
Still ahead, meet one of the most famous faces on the spectrum.
A brain can be more thinking and cognitive, or a brain can be more social emotional. Well, on autism, you get more on the thinking side.
Our interview with Temple Grandin that you won't see anywhere else. Then, a surprise worth waiting for.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
When Autism Life on the Spectrum comes back. She's been one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. HBO made a movie about her life, and she has autism. Meet Temple Grandin.
Einstein had a lot of autistic traits. Thomas Edison, a bunch of different people. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you have somebody that remains nonverbal. Maybe they have epilepsy on top of it and have difficulty controlling their movements. So you get this gigantic spectrum.
Temple Grandin is one of the most influential thought leaders, inventors, and authors of our time. A woman who has turned her pain into purpose, channeling her unique abilities as a person with high-functioning autism into a global movement of advocacy and inclusion.
A brain can be more thinking and cognitive, or a brain can be more social emotional. Well, on autism, you get more on the thinking side.
Professor Grandin's story begins with her mother, a woman determined to defy the times, providing her daughter with services not readily available.
When I was a little kid, I had delayed speech, no speech till age 4. When I got to be about 8 years old, same time when I could not read, she could see that I was really good at drawing, and she encouraged me to draw lots of different things, to use different media. Take that thing the kids are obsessed with and build on it.
In elementary school, Grandin's teachers ensured she was not bullied, but high school was a different story. She was ousted for an altercation with a fellow student and put in a special school, a move that ultimately put her on a path to greatness. That school allowed her to run its horse barn.
When I was a teenager, that's when I was exposed to livestock. One of the things that's just so important is exposure.
Grandin is the architect of the guidelines surrounding humane animal slaughter. Her ideas led to numerous inventions and morphed into industry-altering standards that were profiled in an HBO movie starring Claire Danes.
No, I'm autistic. And I need the sensation of being hugged. And I've developed a machine that I get into and hugs me, and I'm different afterwards. I'm more social.
And then there's her invention of the hug machine, an idea that arose on her aunt's ranch after struggling with sensory issues, a common problem for those with autism spectrum disorders.
We were driving back from shopping, and we stopped by and watched them vaccinate some cattle, and they squeezed the cattle in there to hold them for their vaccinations. And I noticed that they just kind of relaxed, so I went and tried it. And then I went and built one for myself, and then I made it nicer with padding on it.
At the age of 73, with her legacy well established, Professor Grandin is laser focused on one thing: advocating for children in need.
Where we're falling down is with the teenagers not learning job skills, not learning life skills. And the other thing we need to do in the schools is put all the hands-on things back in: music, cooking, sewing, theater, shop, welding, auto mechanics. Because if you have these things in the schools, then these kids get to experience more things that they could turn into a career. I'm concerned that we've got too many smart people just getting shunted into special ed because they don't fit in the square peg in the round hole kind of thing. I worked with those people, and a lot of them were brilliant, and they're not getting replaced. I want to help kids that are different You know, just be successful, be everything that they can be. There's different levels of abilities, and let's emphasis on what they can do.
Next.
This particular video just really touched my heart, and it really allowed me to understand that, you know, just kind of the things we do day to day that we don't think about can really touch and move people.
Making dreams come true in a year when so much has been lost. Making a connection through kindness. This year, Autism Speaks is on a campaign to turn fantasy into reality. For one Staten Island man, his dream of meeting his ice skating hero came true. Our Sharon Crowley was there for the big reveal.
Oh my God! Holy! Oh my God!
Michael Carbonaro's face is bursting with joy.
This is like a dream come true.
Understanding why he feels this way means backing up just a bit.
He wasn't doing the things that the other kids could do at Mommy and Me. And at some points it was torturous. And I just said to my husband, something is not, he can't do the other things that the other kids his age can do.
Kelly Carbonaro is Michael's mother. Doctors diagnosed Michael, now 26, with autism when he was 2.5.
It was like being punched in the gut. I just blame myself, right? As a mom, and something's wrong with your child, you blame yourself.
By 4 years old, Michael still wasn't speaking until one day he saw something on television that inspired him to talk.
And he looked up at the TV and he said, I want to do that. And I didn't know what to do. I just stopped dead in my tracks. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. Finally, I said, what? And he looked. He said, skating.
Michael took to the ice immediately, and he's still going strong, now even coaching other young skaters.
It feels like I'm naturally alive, like I'm naturally breathing. I just love it because I love the feeling of being on the ice, feeling free. It gives me so much joy when I'm on the ice.
He often posts his skating videos on social media. This Instagram post caught the attention of Autism Speaks. The nonprofit has a Kindness Connections campaign. It fulfills the dreams of people with autism. Michael said he dreamed of meeting men's figure skating 1984 Olympic gold medalist Scott Hamilton.
I love Scott Hamilton for the fact that he loves to entertain the crowd.
Hamilton, a cancer survivor who spent his early childhood in and out of the hospital, told me he happily agreed to help.
This particular video just really touched my heart, and it really allowed me to understand that, you know, just kind of the things we do day to day that we don't think about can really touch and move people to, I don't know, to better themselves and to reach higher.
Everyone thought it should be a surprise.
Oh my God! Holy! Oh my God!
It's so good to see you. Man, and I love your skating. Man, you are a good skater. You're a really good skater. I love you just flow, and I love just, you know, how you express yourself. And man, it's such a pleasure to meet you.
It's so good to meet you. I'm shaking right now, literally shaking. How did you get into skating at a young age?
By accident, actually. I was very sick as a young child. So I went to learn to skate, and I'd never been around that many well kids in my life, right? So I was a little intimidated at first and kind of awestruck too. And then I realized after several weeks that I could skate as well kids. And then I realized after several more weeks that I could skate as well as the best athletes in my grade. And all of a sudden I just felt this like identity, like I can do this.
That's awesome.
The surprise, a success.
I knew all about it. Did you tell me? Nope, I didn't tell you. I had to keep it a secret.
That was the best day of my life.
A kindness connection was made for sure. We hope, if anything, this past half hour has given you a look inside the world that so many families live, the challenges they face, and the rewards that make it all worth it. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, I'm DARI Alexander.